As always, we have a fantastic delegation from one of the great corporations of the world that have helped us every year, are a great partner to us. We value them enormously. So could I ask the delegates from Siemens to stand up, please? I love the work that the Siemens cohorts have done down the years. Fantastic. So, we are especially thrilled to welcome the woman who holds the role of Corporate Vice President of Governance and Markets at Siemens, which is also the Chief of Staff function in the company. Mariel also sits on the board of Siemens Limited India, where she's a member of their Corporate Social Responsibility Committee, and she and I share a passion in creating better environments for working mothers. She's going to talk to you today about the fantastic theme of making real what matters. Please welcome Mariel.
Thank you, Kate, for these lovely words. And let me tell you, and we're happy to support you. We are very honored to support One Young World. We're happy to be here, and I know I speak the name of my colleagues, and I'm very honored to be standing in front of you to talk about We Make Real What Matters, and also what I want to do and make real what matters. So I'm conscious that we have just had lunch. So let's do a little exercise. I want to have everyone putting up his or her hand if you want to make real what matters. Yeah. Whoa. It's pretty powerful, at least when you're standing up here. I guess, well, maybe not yet 1,300 people, but we're getting there. And it's wonderful, very powerful to see that we all want to make real what matters. Now, if we do want to make real what matters, I think the next immediate question that I have had a couple of years ago, and if I look into your faces, I'm pretty sure you are having or you have had, is the question, where would I put my effort in? Where do I want to spend my time and make sure that we do real what matters and we have an impact? So I would like just to do a little poll with you. And the question is, where do you believe you can have the most impact? So if you can please take your device, and basically there are 4 answers. Most impact in a startup, at an NGO, at a multinational, or in government. So please, take your device. Okay, interesting. That's always the kind of thing when you do a poll like this, you don't know what the result is going to be. Interesting. About on par startup and multinational. Impact NGO, 17%. I would have personally expected that it would have been more. And government, 20%. Now, obviously, there is no right or wrong. And every individual needs to see for himself or herself where we want to have an impact on. I, for myself, have chosen to work for a large company, a large multinational. And I would like, in a few minutes, to explain to you why I did so. But let me start first to go from a wider scope. Well, we all know, it's nothing new to you, that in 2005, the UN General Assembly launched the 17 Sustainability Development Goals. The idea was to address the most pressing challenges we have in the world. Now, what I thought was interesting were when those goals were launched, Ban Ki-moon said, And I quote, "Sustainable development is not charity, but rather smarter development." The role of business will be indispensable with the SDGs. Healthy societies go hand in hand with healthy markets. I believe this is a very, very powerful statement. And it puts business in the middle of its responsibility. Of course, along governments, along society, and every individual. But it really shows how important business is. And we need to take up that responsibility. The goals, the 17 goals, are huge. They're very broad in nature. They might have different meanings and priorities dependent on every individual, on where you're from, the values you have, and the circumstances you are in. I've spent some time looking at those 17 goals and the challenges that brought those goals to be so important. And I believe for myself that there are 4 major challenges where business leaders have to play a really decisive role. And not tomorrow, but really today. I would like to guide you through those challenges, and I'd like to explain to you what a large multinational, large company like Siemens, like the company I work for, is doing to address those challenges and to get closer to the goals that have been set. And I would like to start with global mobility and migration. We've been speaking about that already in the course of this morning. Let me give you a couple of figures to you. 244 million international migrants lived abroad in 2015. This is 40% more than there were in 2000. A quite impressive increase. Of course, besides the people that have to leave their country because of war, because of terror, because of poverty, there are also a number of people that are looking for new opportunities, a better standard of living, and they move to developed countries. For a company like Siemens, this is actually a very, very important topic. Of course, it is a huge pool of untapped talents, but also it is a huge challenge of coping with diversity. And I'm not specifically talking about different colors and skin or gender, although this is also a topic. But what I mean is more the diversity of thinking, the different backgrounds coming together and what it creates for a company. Siemens is present in 200 countries in the world. Now, after yesterday night, I think you all have an idea what 200 countries are, after having seen, I think, 195 or 194 flags being so proudly waved yesterday night, and we have them over here and over there. This is pretty much where Siemens is present. We have 350,000 employees across the world. Those are 350,000 faces and voices in the countries. We do not only play and are responsible for society, we are society. And we have to take up responsibility. The second challenge I want to talk to you about is climate change and global warming. And I think we had this morning impressive talks about this topic, and we all know what challenge we have. I don't need to tell the audience here about the success of COP21, about the G7 agreement. Those are huge milestones, but now things need to happen, things need to change. We at Siemens, we offer products and solutions that are helping the planet and help our customers being more energy efficient, be more digital, be more automated, make sure that we play our part when it comes to global warming and to climate change. We have to take the responsibility, and we help our customers. We help them to save about 500 million tons of carbon dioxide emissions. This is pretty impressive. But what is even more impressive, and I'm very proud about this, is that it's not only about our customers. For Siemens, it's as important that we the company, are a role model, and we start with ourselves. And that's why last year we announced that we aim to be the first major industrial company to be carbon neutral in 2030. Already for 2020, we plan to cut CO2 emissions, today around 2.2 million tons, in half. Well, this requires sustainable technology, which we have and we sell to our customers. And we are implementing them in our factories and in our buildings. But it also requires entrepreneurial responsibility. And that should not be forgotten, it also requires investments. And we will invest about 100 million euro alone just to reach those goals in the next 3 years. Internet of Things and digitalization, very different topic maybe, and something that we are all aware of. I don't think any of us would be able to go about our business and our private life without internet and digitalization. It is now making its way in the industrial world. Some actually call it the fourth revolution of the industrial age, after the steam power, the electrification, and automation. All machines, things, and processes will be connected. And this offers a lot of opportunities, but also a lot of challenges. This will change the value chain. This will change a lot when it comes to employment, about training, education, also about security. And I could go on and on and on. This will have a huge impact. Siemens, as an engineering company, we invest about 4.5 billion euro every year in research and development. We have about 30,000 engineers, research and development engineers working for us, and in a year we come up with about 8,000 inventions. Pretty impressive, at least that's the way I look at it. Now, in the old world, the current world, this is maybe very impressive. But when it comes to master the changes that are at the doorsteps with the Internet of Things, we need to revisit the rules of the game. Now, while in yesterday's world, inventions were coming from one inventor, this is changing. Today already the name of the game is the crowd. Being connected, collaborating, virtual teams, broader ecosystem, those are the way of going about things today. We need to think differently, and which is, believe me, not always that easy in traditional established companies. So also we need to go about this. And what have we done? We are in the process of creating a company which we call Next 47. It's a separate company, far enough from its mother to have its own environment, and basically a startup environment, to have people being completely free and open to come about their ideas, but close enough to the mother to benefit from the network, from the experience of the mother company. Entrepreneurs from outside, but also from inside the company, can join that company and make real what matters in the field of forward-looking innovation, such as artificial intelligence or decentralized electrification, and a lot of other fields. Also here, this requires investments. And Siemens is prepared to invest €1 billion over the next 5 years into this company, to give people with creativity and with ideas the opportunity to grow in this environment and to make real what matters. The fourth and the last big challenge that I see and that I believe are really important and need to be taken care of by business leaders is short-term versus long-term sustainable thinking. I believe this is a crucial topic when it comes to economy and when it comes to society. Public companies are pushed quarter by quarter. Leaders, managers are being are being judged by the minute. And we're not judging long-term achievements. It needs to go quick, quarter by quarter. The capital market is looking at this. Now, this is certainly good for momentum investors. But is it good for all stakeholders? Is it good for employees? Is it good for society? Now, on the other hand, we cannot blame fund managers. They're doing their job. And their job is to maximize their clients' investments. So we are in a situation pretty much of catch-22 and somehow no way to go. There needs to be a way. And our way at Siemens is that we want to change the culture in the organization. We call it ownership culture. We want to create an environment where people feel like they own their own responsibility, their job, and the company. It's an environment of collaboration and inclusiveness, and the idea is really to foster the long-term sustainable success. To care about the company, to be engaged, and to be open. And also through equity participation, we want to foster this long-term thinking. And it's not only equity participation in top management, the stock awards, stock option programs that we've all heard about. No, for us, what is important is equity for every single employee in the world. We have today 153,000 employees that are shareholders of Siemens. My aim is to bring this number in 2020 to 200,000 employees owning Siemens shares. And the reason we're doing this and we're putting so much effort in this is that we believe that if you own part of a company, it's yours and you go differently about it. And that's why for us it is so important. Now, understanding the challenges and setting the goals, I've taught you through 4 challenges, and we know the goals from the 17 SDGs. I think this is the first step. And those are global challenges. Those are global goals. But when it comes to the impact, and if you really want to make real what matters, this is not a global topic. This needs to happen locally. The impact is felt locally. And I would like to use the opportunity that in this room, in this audience, I have a number of Siemens colleagues that come from all countries of the world and that have worked on projects and had made a difference in their companies. And I would like to start with a project in Thailand, a mobility project in Thailand. And I would like to ask Annika to talk to us and tell us about your project in Thailand.
Hi everyone, I'm an engineer and I'm working in the rail service business. Our job is to keep the railroad running, and one of our projects you can see here, the Bangkok SkyTrain, which I've just worked on in Thailand. For us, it is very important to find sustainable solutions for the megatrend of urbanization. Cities are growing significantly by 2 inhabitants per second, and by 2030, 60% of the world's population will live in urban areas. More and more people and products must be moved within and between cities. Therefore, we need to find sustainable solutions, and we build together a partnership with industry and science to meet these challenges. Together with the University in Aachen in Germany, we have built a partnership, and together with the young engineers, we try to find a concept to double the capacity of train and to increase the availability and punctuality of rail systems. Together with young research from the university, we define how the train concept looks like, how it can be energy efficient, and how it can be produced and maintained at the same time. In cooperation with these young engineers and in partnering together with them, we develop the mobility of the future. We are so able to help growing cities to improve the mobility of their citizens so that they are able to get around their city on time. Keeping the world running. so that people can keep going. That is what matters most to me, and that is what you can see here in Bangkok with the SkyTrain, where we have already an availability of our rail systems of more than 99% by 780,000 passengers per day.
Thank you, Annika. Thank you for sharing this project, being proud of it. We can hear it in your voice, and I think it's an impressive project that you've worked on. Now, if I relate this now back to the 17 SDGs, let's look at it. Let's look at the impact that this project, this one project alone in Thailand had. We look at goal number 8, good jobs and economic growth. 9, innovation and infrastructure. Sustainable cities and communities, responsible consumption, climate action, and partnerships. So alone, this project has an impact. It might be small on the global scale, but it's so important locally. So from Thailand, I would like now to move to Canada, actually. And I don't have a Canadian here, but I have a Danish colleague, Lars, who will talk about
wind power. Thank you very much, Mariel. Hello, fellow delegates. My name is Lars Johannessen, and that's me on top of a wind turbine in beautiful Ontario. As you see, I'm truly passionate about wind, and I really like working with such an incredible view. For the past 10 years, I've been committed to the wind power adventure of Siemens and for a clean, sustainable future. In Canada, there's a strong commitment to take action on climate change and ensure a strategy to preserve natural resources. Our challenge remains to reduce our dependency on fossil energies and contribute to the global commitment of reducing greenhouse gas emissions. We need to acknowledge changing the way we use and produce energy and harvest the benefits of our natural endless resources. Based on such commitment, I'm proud of the positive impact that I've been able to have through my role with wind power installation across the Canadian provinces. We installed the first wind farm back in 2007 and have now installed more than 1,100 turbines across the provinces. That is equivalent to powering over 500,000 homes here in Canada. Our goal is to promote green energy and utilize the power of wind to shape a sustainable future. I think that's pretty awesome. We heard this morning our climate minister from Canada, and in the past decade, Canada has made wind energy an important contributor to our electricity supply, and we have become a respected nation of renewable energy. As a young leader of Siemens, I'm super excited about where we're heading with our technology and the impact this is having on our environment. I encourage all of you, fellow delegates, to get behind and highlight the significance of wind and the positive impact it is having on all the communities who now have access to clean, renewable energy. Thank you.
Thank you, Lars. Well, the growth and the uptake of wind in Canada, very impressively just explained to you by Lars. It's an amazing journey, and it's incredible how this has an impact on some of the goals when we look at the jobs, the innovation, the reduction of emission. All of these play a huge part in bringing us closer to the goals that we have set. Now I would like to have presented a very different project, and it's a project in Mexico, and it's more about local community. So Javor, what is it all about?
Thank you, Mario. Hi, everyone. Hi, everyone. I'm Javor. I'm from Bulgaria, and I'm currently heading one of Siemens' largest factories in North America. It is located in Monterrey, in the north of Mexico, and we employ about 1,500 people. So 70% of our employees are women from the local community, and as such, they face serious social issues. So aside from drug-related violence, which is very known for Mexico, more than half of all families in the local community are raised by single mothers. Also, school attendance rates are very poor, and also many girls have to drop out of school due to early pregnancy. So we realized that in order to have a successful business, we need to help our people solve their social issues. So we targeted education, focusing not only on the parents, our employees, but also on the children. So for employees, we partnered up with the largest online university in Mexico, the University of Guanajuato, and we set up a program where we give 40 scholarships every year to outstanding production workers. We also set up an online classroom, a computerized classroom at our factory, where they can go and attend classes and study also to get their degree. For their children, we give out 50 computers and scholarships every year to outstanding children of our production employees. Thank you. Thank you. Also, what you see in the picture, we started a program where our employees volunteer at a local school where actually most of our employees' kids go to, where they hold regular workshops on topics such as nutrition, energy, or sustainability. So this is the picture you see, and you can also see that it really resonates with the kids. Actually, the school principal told us that the days when Siemens goes to the school are the only ones in the whole year with full attendance. So every year, 40 of our employees sign up for the online university program. 50 of their children get scholarships, and more than 100 children in the local community attend our workshops. I really think that's a great example of how a global company can act very locally and make a difference in a topic as important as education. Thank you.
Thank you, Javor. So as you just heard, of course, here at the forefront, improving the lives of the people, being close to the community, and then addressing the goals of poverty, about health, education. So a lot of topics that are being addressed here. I think it's a very impressive project that we've been working on in Mexico. So finally, I'd like to come to the fourth example, and we're moving to Germany with Laura.
Thanks, Mariel. My name is Laura, and I'm an innovation manager at Siemens in Germany. And I have to say I'm deeply touched by Professor Yunu's speech, because it ties into what I'm about to share. I'm discovering how the new comes into the world, how breakthrough innovation comes into the world. And I'm also a big dreamer. And my personal dream is to inspire all individuals on this planet to unfold their inner genius and their inner purpose, to unfold their imagination, and to collectively inspire each other. And in this way, to encircle concrete and tangible answers in the quest of a more sustainable, more just, and more livable future. So I decided to co-found the Entrepreneurs Bootcamp at Siemens. We set it up as an experiment, bringing together extraordinary people for a whole week to a startup environment. They saw into the future. They rapidly applied startup tools. They listened to inspirational sessions. And above all, they smelled the hunger to making it happen. But above all that, we create a safe space for people to be authentic, a space where they connect to their inner purpose and their inner genius. What is it that matters to them? What is it they really want to make a true difference in? We create a space where those people commit to their vision, they connect to their creativity, and they produce value for both our company and the society. And for me, that is the art of breakthrough innovation. The people you see up there on the picture, that's one of our teams. And their purpose is to make a significant contribution to supply fair and renewable energy to those global 1.2 billion people still without energy on the planet. They came up with the idea to develop a blockchain-based and easy-to-install box enabling off-grid distribution networks for rural areas. They derived a viable business model, they built prototypes, they tested it with real customers and partners. And all that in only 1 week. And right now, they are up to do anything it takes to achieve their mission. And we are up to create a global movement of those bold visionaries and purpose-driven creators, making real what matters to all of us. Thanks.
Thank you, Laura. It's great to hear about your dream. Partnership and innovation were key in this project, obviously. Out-of-the-box thinking and to have passionate people. Above all, to have passionate people to go about these initiatives. So now you've heard four projects in a company, as I said, with 350,000 employees in 200 countries. And we just spoke about 4 projects. I'd like to remind you about the 17 goals and how a large company like Siemens can make a difference locally, sometimes small projects, or seemingly small projects, but that can have a huge impact. Now, this does not happen by coincidence. Believe me, this does not happen by coincidence. We call this business to society. You might know business to consumer, B2C, or business to business, B2B. We have an approach that we call business to society, the business that we bring to society. We map the needs and the plans of a country with what we are doing as a business. So pretty much, we look at the national priorities, we look at what we can offer and contribute, and from that, we derive our strategic action plans. So we do economic modeling of a huge amount of data to understand the true value and impact of our action. And what is really different, and that is really important, what is different is about this approach is that we measure the value. We do not measure the money we spent, but we measure the value of the impact. Given the size of the company, we, through our global operation, are linked directly or indirectly to about 250 billion euro of GDP contribution and more than 4.2 million jobs globally. So it's not only our operation, but it's the whole value chain and what is linked to that. So by better understanding our impact and the value we create, we can ensure our efforts are allocated and are meeting the needs, the real needs of what really matters to society and to future generations. And here's where I want to close the loop with what I said in the beginning about me having chosen working for a multinational company. The world faces huge challenges, we know this. We've talked about the challenges, talked about the goals. To master all of this, we need to work together, independently where we work and what we work on. We need to have passion to excel, but very, very often, we also need the financial means. We need the global and also the local network. And I think this is very important, very often you just need to have a seat at the table. And you need to get the seat at the table, and very often you get this through the scale that you have. You need to get the seat at the table where decisions are being made. And I truly think it's fascinating to work for such a large organization that is really making a difference and that is operating on all these countries with all those different needs, as we've heard this from the delegates, to really make an impact. Be the change that you want to see in the world. Famous Mahatma Gandhi words have personally inspired me and do help me at times when I have some moments of doubt. I feel the responsibility, I truly feel the responsibility myself to make the world a better and a safer place for my daughter, my family, my friends, and for the generations to come. But remember, We only have 24 hours in a day, and there's so much that needs to be done. So now let me turn to you. How do you choose to spend your time? Just think about this. An easy question might not be that easy to answer. And think. Sir Bob yesterday talked about thinking. Think, take the time to think about this and reflect on this. But one thing is clear, unleash your passion. Take actions and have impact. Don't let out of sight the impact that you can have. Make a difference. Every single individual can make a difference. We heard this morning. We are all important to do and to contribute to all of the challenges and the goals that we have. With this, I really wish all of you an impactful One Young World conference. Thank you very much.